Good afternoon. I wanted to show y'all a tip for applying heat transfer vinyl to like a tablecloth, something really large that you can't fit under your heat press. But just a trick that I've learned over the years. So I'm starting with my iron. This is, we call this the perler bead iron. That's what my daughter uses it for. But I've got my tablecloth laid out, and this is a fitted tablecloth, which means it has seams on the corners so that when you put it on your table, it hangs down like around it like a skirt. And so what I want to do is I want to find my two corners and just kind of find the middle point. And this is an 8-foot tablecloth. So just want to find the center, and then normally I'd have tape or something, but I forgot. So I just want to mark my center. It's a little off from the wrinkle there from where it was folded, but that's my middle point. So I'm just going to mark it for a minute so I don't lose it. Okay. And this is a floor drop, which means it goes all the way to the floor, but I don't want to put my design right smack in the middle. I want it up a little higher so that it's not closer to the ground. So I have cut my logo into 2 pieces to make it easier, and kind of sits like this. I need to mark that spot so I don't lose it. Doesn't have to be exact, but I want it close. Okay, so you want to make sure, and my logo's almost going to take up the whole width of my kitchen island, so this will be good. I want to make sure that everything's lined up across this way, but also an even drop down. So just going to kind of eyeball it right now. And we are about 16 from the bottom for the bottom of my words, and a little over 13 from the top. So let's pull this up a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to line up the bottom of the words even all the way across with this top seam. So I'm at 13 inches right now. So I'll come here. I want this one to be at 13. And this is an old quilting ruler. I've had this for ages and ages. I used to do a lot of sewing and whatnot, and I repurposed it, and I love it for this. Just gonna go through, and I don't want to like stretch this too much, but I do want it to be firm against that seam. And just keep moving this a little at a time. Make sure. And then I kind of want to go through and make sure that, and we are totally, look at this. I was going to iron it backwards, and y'all were going to let me do it. Wait a second, that's not right. Okay, let's try this again. So, let's start over. This is what happens when you work too much and don't get enough sleep. You start losing your mind a little at a time. I'm really excited for tomorrow, but I'm also kind of frazzled. Kudos to people that do these all the time, these vendor event craft fair type things. Put that up, hold that down, move it down a little bit. Just want to get this But imagine trying to do this at your heat press. I mean, I have a big heat press, but it still is no match for an 8-foot tablecloth. Okay, so look good. Look good. Okay. So the reason why I'm doing this up here right now is, again, because I want to tack the HTV down onto the tablecloth and get it in position so that I can take it downstairs and put it on the heat press and really get it down. I don't know that I have any up here. I normally will go over my stuff with a lint roller because I do have animals and they are hard to keep from shedding on stuff or it'll get on me. But I keep lint rollers right next to my heat press and I lint roll everything before I press it. Yay. I'm just messing it all up. So bear with me again. I'm sorry. You can fast forward. I used to do this with heat resistant tape, which I still will use on smaller things from time to time, but for something this large and all the manipulating and moving I'm going to need to do to get it onto my heat press, that heat resistant tape just doesn't have enough hold. But the nice thing about that tape is you can press with the tape on. Whereas with regular tape, painter's tape, or Scotch tape or anything like that, the adhesive will melt into your fabric and leave a hot mess. So we try to avoid that. All right, third time's a charm, right? Isn't that what they say? Down this time. Again, just go over it with the lint roller and make sure we're not trapping any little furry friend furs down beneath. And so when you're using an iron, whether you're doing just HTV on a t-shirt or a bag or something that you can't put in your press, or if you don't have a press, which a lot of people don't, then that's fine. You want to know the temperature that your press is working at. So I have this little laser temp gun. I got it on Amazon. I'll give y'all a link. So it defaults to Celsius. So I just hold this middle button down right here to get it in Fahrenheit mode. And you want to test the temperature of your iron because not all irons are created equal. And for this particular heat transfer vinyl, the pressing temp is 210. It might have cut off since it's been sitting there for so long. Some irons that people say put on the hottest setting. Well, the hottest setting on some irons might be 350, 360, and that's going to be too hot. So it's not always the highest. And what works on one person's iron is not going to work on another. This is an old iron. It's got some stuff stuck onto it. Nothing that comes off, but it doesn't. The regular iron I use for clothes gets hotter. But you want to know the temperature that you're working with. So I've got 289, and I just point the laser at it. 433, 399, 461. So we're way too hot. So and that's on the linen setting. Turn it down to cotton. And this is polyester, this tablecloth. So you just kind of want to know what you're working with. So I know y'all can't see this, but you want to kind of aim it right at your press, and as you move it around, the temperature will change So what I want to do is, again, I just want to tack this down. So I'm going to come over here and just apply pressure. Again, I'm going to take this downstairs and put it on my heat press, so I'm not trying to get it to stay forever and ever and ever. But this will allow me to move it around on the press without it moving positions. And this particular HTV is a cold peel, so I can't even test the adherence until it's cooled down a little bit. And notice, I'm doing this on my granite countertops. If you don't have granite, if you don't have something that can withstand the heat a little bit, you could get a tile, like a 12 by 12 inch tile from Home Depot, and put it on your kitchen counter or your floor. I'm gonna have wood floors, so I wouldn't want to do this on the floor. But you want something hard. Don't do this on your ironing board. That's what I did at the very beginning, and I could not figure out why my vinyl was never sticking for any decent amount of time. Again, I'm just going through. So again, this is a cold peel. See, it's sticking. It's down. But again, this isn't enough to get it to stay forever and ever. So, okay, we have made it downstairs, and I was able to carry this entire tablecloth down here without worry of my vinyl moving from where I want it to be. And I have left the carrier sheet on simply because this is a cold peel, and I want to make sure that it's getting on there. And this is the heat tape that I was talking about, that, oh, I touched it, it's hot, that I will use a lot of the times. It works really good for holding things in place, but for this, it just doesn't have the adherence to keep it from shifting out of position. So, we are loading it up onto the press. And this is a, turn this down, this is a 15 to 20 second press. So let's go ahead and make sure I don't have any folds, and let's press her down. Oh, lighten my pressure a little bit. This is a medium pressure vinyl. I'm going to hold it down. And I want to shift it down. Again, I can move it around as much as I need to because I know it's not coming off. Not to overlap if I can avoid it. Then make sure I don't have any creases underneath. It's going to raise it up off of the top platen up off and not give me a good even pressure. And give her a press. And again, this is the power heat press. I got it on Amazon. This is a 16 by 24. Works great. You probably don't need one this big, but I like it. Okay, so got her done. Again, she's cold peel. So I want to get her off of the press. Cool off. Let's move over here. Let's not knock over the camera. I know it looks dirty, but really my table's clean. I wipe it down. It's just stained. Cold peel, let's see how it does. Coming right off really well. Cold. Cool off here, so we're ready to go. If you've pressed your vinyl for the time and temperature that they recommend, and you go to peel it hot and the vinyl's not sticking, chances are it's a cold peel. So just lay it back down, give it a tap with your press, and then wait for it to cool off. Let's turn the light on and take a look at it. Looks pretty good, right? One more thing off my list. Thanks, guys.